Hi everyone, so today I have a new collection to share with you that Spellbinders has released for July of 2025. They're doing very much a Christmas in July thing, which I just love, so I'm having a great time here. It is the Country Christmas collection by Annie Williams. I do have, I think, 4 of the pieces. Well, I know it's 4 of the pieces, but I think of... she has like 6 or 7 pieces there in the collection. I have what is the beautiful, like, star here. They might be calling it a wreath. And then I have the rocking chair. So yeah, barn star wreath, and then the rocking chair, which is so cute. Oh my gosh. And I also have the sentiments, Country Christmas banner and sentiment, and this is so cute. Like, it's so delicate with the little bits that are here. And then the 3D embossing folder for the collection. So generally what I do is I link all the new releases, just like a line there, and you can click on it. And then I have a link just to this collection, so it'll say, you know, Country Christmas selections. And that will take you, and you can see everything that they have. They don't have a one-and-all bundle of this one, but they do have some of the new releases in a one-and-all type bundle. Yeah, so I will say that they did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and the links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. So thank you so much for using those if you would like, and for the US and the UK in this situation here. I will say the sentiments are a better press. I don't see that they have a stamp sentiment or anything like that, so if you want the sentiments, they're going to be better press or glimmer. You can put these in the glimmer sentiments. We'll talk about those in just a moment. So the wreath, I will say they do have those printouts. If you saw my video on the Wonderland collection, I showed you how you can print out a really beautiful, you know, diagram of each and every piece and how it's, you know, what it does, how you would want to assemble it. I know the carrier sheets do usually come with some inspo, but it might just be like an image of the project put together with some of the dies that Spellbinders puts out. So if you were to pop over there, let's say use my link, and you go to, you know, the barn star wreath, in the images that are associated with it, like, oh, you want to see some different sample images about how someone might have put it together, there's going to be a picture there, an image that looks like a diagram of how you put it together. So you want to go ahead and click on the image, and then you can right click on it or open your, however your computer does that, to see like what more you can do with it. And you can open it in a new window. I don't know if you can usually print from right then and there, because usually it wants to print the whole page. That's kind of weird. So you want to open it in a new window, or open the image in a new tab, or save the image, and then when you go to print it, it will be a printed, you know, nice A2 size paper of depiction of how to put it together. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But it's in with the images, okay? They'll have the same thing for the rocking chair. So you have your star, and what's really cool is that it can be a little more 3D, or it can just be kind of a flat project on the star, and it's just really pretty. And then it has these inlays, right? So you have your base piece, and again, see, it has like little embossed areas. You have these inlays that are more like little pinhole kind of things. I don't believe it's meant to be stitched. It's just pretty, but I suppose if you want to stitch it, you probably could. And then you have these inlays that are just a little bit different look. They're really pretty. And what I mean, inlays like this, but I guess you can inlay those pieces if you want to take the time to do that. It'd be very pretty. And then there's 5 of those, so you just run it all at the once. And then there's cute things to decorate it with. So you can imagine you have like these bows, I love this little citrus, very potpourri kind of feeling, a little pine cone. I believe that all has to do with the citrus right there. And then you have the little, you know, holly, you have berries, you have the little like sprigs, and like these little sprigs, or yeah, I guess a little branch, but you can put little berries on that little guy. And it just looks really pretty and festive, and just a nice part of the collection there. And then you have the rocking chair set, which is super cute. Oh my gosh, you guys, this has so much going on. So you have, well, actually it's not a rocking chair, it's just a chair. I think it said rocking chair. Huh, that's funny, because I can see it just sits like a chair. But anyway, let me make sure what it's called real quick. Sorry guys. Yeah, Christmas rocking chair. Okay, there must be something, it must be these pieces to make it look like it rocks. Yeah, so it's this piece that goes underneath. Okay, so it is rocking chair. All right, we have our pieces here that help you with that. So super cute. So you can imagine you make your chair, right? You have a base piece here, like different accents, maybe a cushion or just another accent to the chair there. And the back piece, it has a bunch of different smaller pieces, these guys that are the arms. So there's lots of ways of making that really more textured and things. And then you have like a blanket that you can throw on the chair, or you have a throw pillow with a cute little inlay that's like this little tree design. You have a little tree that goes in the little bucket if you want, or I don't know why you would just want a bucket, but basically this and this, and then this little guy goes in there with decoration, so this portion of the tree goes on top of that. You have the little garland, little decorations, and that can go in there, so it's kind of by your chair if that's what you want. You can have a teddy bear sitting in the chair too. His little accent pieces are here and here on this die. He can wear his little Santa hat. Maybe you have Santa's boots just sitting there by the chair like it was at his house, you know, just very, very cute and well done pieces there. So that's the rocking chair. And then again, the sentiments. So these are really fine, like script. So I'm going to try to read some of them, but you have your dies. This one looks like torn, like a little sign or like washi tape, however you want to use that. Just a rectangle, and then this one with the cute shapes. Then they have these little guys, you know, I think they're just to add whatever you want to add to these. So it's very delicate, cute. It's just these little bits. So I don't know, something to think about. And then we have things like, what is it upside down? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's say have a rocking Christmas. This one's upside down. So from our barn to yours, wishing you peace, love, and joy. True love was born in a stable. Sorry, that's the word I keep looking for. Whenever I'm talking about the manger scene, I'm like, in the manger, it's a stable. That's the one I keep forgetting. I don't know. Anyway, rocking around the Christmas tree. And then Merry Christmas, Merry and Bright, Season's Greetings, Warm Winter Wishes, and Country Christmas Wishes. All right. And then she has a 3D embossing folder, which is awesome.
You know what? I didn't mention it.
Don't think I mentioned this in my last video because I always give you guys measurements on these. So their embossing folders are pretty much always oversized. I don't even think that they make the smaller ones anymore. They're like A2s or, you know, purposely 5x7 types. They're oversized in that they are 8 3/4 by 5 3/4, the actual plastic of it, and then it will emboss an area that is 8.5 by 5.5. So you can slimline, you can A2, you can 5x7 in those dimensions, right? So this is a 3D embossing folder that goes to the collection, and it's so pretty. I love things like this where it's just like a bunch of different things going on. So you have the stars, you have the little gifts. Let me grab, I'm going to use this so you'll see it anyway, but I'm just going to put a black piece of cardstock behind here for right now. You have like the little baubles or ornaments, snowflakes, bows, wreath, super cute little tree. Look at this one's just kind of a fun, festive kind of design. So all these different things on here, and then it has like the little, kind of like a look of ribbon, but if you see the holly leaves are kind of like on it. Very cute. So again, this is a 3D embossing folder, so you'll need the capability of using a 3D embossing folder with whatever machine you have to be able to use this. Okay guys, so we are going to get right to it. I think I'm going to work with this guy since we went through everything, and then I'll come back and just focus on the rocking chair at a later date, because that way I know it's going to take a little time and we don't have all the time talking about everything, right? So let me grab some paper and we'll get going on this one. I mean, this would make a really cute ornament, even a paper ornament. That'd be really fun. Pop it on a card, you know, all those things. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so just to start, I think I am going to make like a little ornament kind of thing, but I'll probably mount it on a card base anyway, just so it looks really nice. I'm trying to think what color. I didn't think about that part, but let's, I usually start with that. So I think I will need to grab something. I have some craft card here. That might be nice. Just a little kind of rustic kind of look, right? So let's do some craft card. And my brand new guillotine, I've only used a couple times here. I picked it up recently there on Spellbinders, and I said I would try it out for you guys. So here we go. 5 3/8. I know my paper got a little bent from another project, so let me make sure my paper's nice and straight. 3/8 by 4 1/8. That's the kind of matte layer I like, but you know, whatever it is you like, go for it. Okay. And I'm just going to run that through the 3D embossing folder here. And so, yeah, just simply run that through. And then I'll glue it onto my card base. And since I already have this other paper out getting ready for this part, let's go ahead and do that. I think my background on my ornament is going to be red, so I'll just run this through just simply like that, right? And then I'll also take this gold piece. This will be my topper. And I'm just going to trim this down. Sorry, guys. For this one, I'm going to take every single one of these inlays and pop it in. I'm not going to do it quite yet because I just want the die so I can run it through the red one first. Put them all in, right? And tape them down so they don't move, and then go ahead and run that through your die cutting machine, right? So tape, you know, obviously, so we don't want these bits to move. And I'll be right back. So like I said, I'll first run it through just the red by itself. Okay, BRB. Okay, I'll just run that through. And very cool. I'm just gonna leave it like this, but look how cool that looks. And that's the embossed side. Of course, that's the side you normally want, but sometimes we like the debossed side. So whichever side you want to put, you know, facing up, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down onto my card base, and I'll be right back. Okay, so then we have this guy. Look at, and again, you know, if you want to inlay these pieces, you can definitely do that. How pretty is that? That's amazing. So again, it could be more 3D because what you're going to do is kind of, where you have the lines here going up the star like this, you're going to fold them away from you. And then these guys, you fold towards you in between here. And so it's going to have like that dimensional shape, you know what I'm talking about? I don't want to mess with it too much though, because I'm going to glue it flat. So I don't want to bend it in a way that I don't need to, right? So it's perfectly pristine and gorgeous right now. But you can imagine, you know, with these lines, you can kind of see that you just bend them away from you. This one is the one that adds in that texture, that little piece in the middle. So anyway, I'm just going to glue this one straight down, and then we'll decorate. I will say I'm probably going to cut out another background piece because I want to add, well, I guess there's different ways of adding twine or ribbon. You know, it can be in between, but you're going to see it right somewhere in here, and I don't know that looks great. You can do 2 back layers, so then you can embed it between 2 layers, or you can just stick it on the back, right? Something that helps you hold it. But if you want more to be more of a keepsake, you're going to want to do that in a better way, and I would say that means doing 2 of that back piece. Maybe what I'll do is cut out one from just black paper to pop back there. So you saw I just went around the edges because of course we want all that to stick down, then just some glue down the center. I wasn't bothering with the pretty ornate areas in here. And so I'm going to hold that down, and I will go ahead and run my base side. I should have done that before because now I have all these pieces. But again, whenever you just have like a base background die, just go ahead and run that first, because then you have to mess with all the little pieces that fall out or any of these things like what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm just going to run through some black paper. I actually have a piece right here. Okay, just to have a background piece. How pretty is that already? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this piece for later. This one here. I'll just go on the back. Okay, to hold down my twine or whatever it is that I want to use. Okay, so as far as this part, I haven't even thought that far ahead. Let's do our bow, and I have a scrap of the same red. I just have this scrap here. With this guy, and again, you can do different colors of red, so you have different tones, you know, going, but these are basically your bow pieces. And this one does have like an accent piece to it, you know, so again, if you want to run it through maybe a deeper red or a lighter red, just to get a little different, you know, some different values there, go for it. I'm going to cut this piece off. What else is red? do we do a little sprig? We're going to do a little sprig. So we do want some red berries. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like this one belongs to this. There's 6 little berries, 6 little buds or areas that needs to go to, so I'll do that. And also red, you know, sparkly red, shimmery red, all those kinds of things you might want to think about. We have the little pine cones, which are adorable. I have my little citrus. I don't know if I'll be using that. We have these guys, so I'll run this through some greenery along with our little sprig. And, you know, it could be different colors of green. I might do that just to give it some different looks. I would run this normally through like gold, but this is already gold, so we'll see. So I might run those through different colors of green. I don't think I need the holly leaves if I'm not using the holly berries, right? And then this guy. So I do have some like craft card, and you know, that's cool. Bring that back up. But I don't really have, well, I do somewhere dark brown. So what I was thinking is I'm just going to color an area and then run it through there too. So this is just a brown alcohol ink marker, and I think that'll be fine. So I'm just going to run the whole thing, even though obviously one layer is going to be lighter brown, one's going to be darker. I'll just run it through here, run it through here, run through here, run through here, okay? And I'll have 2 pine cones. Basically, I'm looking for 2, but I need the different colors. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, let me get a little bit closer. And yeah, so I just cut the background because I think the background is going to be the dark brown for me on this pine cone. Excuse me, my voice just decided to cut out on me, but there you go. And throw that washi away. Obviously, that's worn through. So with these guys, I'm just going to glue the one layer on top of the other. We have some lighter green sprigs. I have the darker green to go with that little berries set, and that'll be good. So I cut out 2 of these guys because I think I'm going to make them look like this and like this, you know? I don't know how to explain it. Like that, and one going that way. We have a couple of these. Let's get this little sprig. And that washi is also done. I try to use this over and over, the best ever craft tape, but as you're using it, it gets stickier and stickier in the back, and then it starts making kind of like a mess. So I reuse it a couple times, and then I'm like, okay, that's enough, you know. That's enough usages out of that. Oh, I left that off the edge. Anyway, okay, there we go. That washi can still be used. Okay, so I'll do that. We have this. We have a little sprig. Hopefully I didn't misplace any of my little berries here. They're all in the die, as you can see there. So that's good. So with those, of course, easy enough. I'm just going to pop these guys out and just add them onto this sprig here. Little dot of glue, glue, glue. And pop those on. I don't know. I guess some of them are different sizes. So let's look at that. As you see this little berry, that one looks like that's a good size. This one is smaller, these 2. And there are some smaller ones, so it'd be like this one. Which is cute because it gives different, you know, detail, but there's something you want to pay attention to. It looks like there's 3 smaller ones and maybe 3 larger ones. So there, oopsie. And this one here. Oh, that's a bigger one, which is fine. I'll just stick that down now that I have it on here. Larger, smaller, and then one more kind of a medium-sized, larger one. Oopsie, I was going to show it to you guys. There you go. Cute. And then this guy. All right, so these are the pieces of the bow. There's some that aren't necessary, right? The things that cut out. But we have this, and then we have this. So again, this piece accents that, you know. So it gives it texture, but if you wanted to have different colors, I would say maybe put this background piece a darker color. But I'm just going to stick them down. And then to me, that's just giving a little more detail, right? Even if it's the same color. And then this piece goes behind, right? So you're just adding that to the little knot here. And then you have the little top knot piece right here. Look how cute and quick. Okay, let me put together my pine cone and then we'll start getting this put together. Okay guys, before I move on too far, I'm going to add a little tie. So, okay, let's put these things over here. As we put this on, I'll probably turn it over, it's symmetrical, so that way it looks nice in the back too. All right, but we can put our string so it has a top knot, because if you like the look of a knot, you can make it so that it sticks out of the bottom, so it just has a little extra something, you know, comes out the top and also out of the bottom. That looks cute, right? Or you can just make it perfectly from the top. So just a couple ideas. And give yourself some space, because if you think about it, I mean, I guess people can use a hook also, but you also want to make it so that it can actually go onto a branch, right? So generally I probably do this with hot glue, because this is going to be kind of thick, especially with the twine that I'm using. It's a thick boy, so I'm just going to put quite a bit of glue and pop this in here. Of course, this twine wants to poke out for some reason. And I'm just going to bring it right to the tip here and put a little more glue here. Okay. I'm doing this right now while it's flat before we add all our details. Okay, and I'm going to put some weight on this, and that usually involves putting something like this on here, and then just adding some weight from like a machine or something else you might have. Okay, and in the meantime, I'm basically going to have this like in the center here, and maybe a little pine cone there, and another one like here, you know, and then like some little sprigs from behind here, something like this. You know, I have those little berries. Maybe I'll use them. I probably will, but maybe they're not 100% necessary. Maybe I'll stick them out from behind. That'd be cute, huh? From behind the pine cones. And that'll be my little centerpiece, okay? So, that's that. Maybe while we have this sitting here waiting, I should put it to the side a little bit. And I can talk about this. You know, you can also put a sentiment right on there, or just, you know, onto your card or however. But you can also include it on the ornament. Warm winter wishes, country Christmas wishes. Let's do country Christmas wishes. And of course, I mean, I'm just going to do the one right now, but you can run through a whole bunch of sentiments at once. Let me grab my better press. Okay, I think I'm going to run that through a cream color, just again, bring it back to a little more natural kind of feel. So we are going to cut this out. I just want to make sure I pop it on here somewhere where we're going to actually make contact with the paper. And so that's that. This is just some heavyweight paper I have in my stash. And I suppose we can ink it up in some black ink. Let's see here. It's very thin, so I just want to make sure I'm really getting that ink on there. Okay, I'll just run this through my Platinum 6, and I'll be right back. Okay. And look at that. Look how detailed and beautiful that is. Just lovely. Okay, I'm going to clean up, but let's see. Should we go with this one? Because it's a little more like rustic. That'll be cute. Okay. Country Christmas wishes. Just trying to make that straight in there and centered as well as I can. And whenever I put my tape, I always put it towards the outside, because you don't want to just rip off what you just did. So there's that. And then maybe a piece over here. I'll run that through, and we'll put our project together. Okay, so I think that'll be ready. And again, you can do all this stuff with hot glue, but I just went with regular glue, so took a little bit. Cute. So we have our sentiment there. All these things. That looks like perfect, but of course, let me see. I know people always talk about the cling wrap trick. For me, I don't want to waste plastic. I guess you can reuse it a few times, but if I don't have to put something in a landfill just to make a card look the way I designed it initially, like, I'd rather not do it. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue down this very center. Okay, because I know I'm going to come in with some of that greenery. Obviously we don't want this to fall off on us, so I'm going to put that there. It's a good amount of glue. Again, like I said, if you're trying to make this a keepsake, of course you're going to want to really glue that down. I will say this would be really cute in felt, but I probably maybe this inlay, but not the other one with all those little tiny dots. It depends on the felt you're using, really. But I would use the background piece for sure, and then decorate it. Cute. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. And then we have these guys. Quite a bit of glue because that's going to help anchor everything. And maybe one here and one there. That is so cute. I'm going to hold that down. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. I mean, pretty. Of course, I need my glue to dry, but that's really cute. Really ornate. And then I just love the soft nature of like what's going on there. Okay, so how do I usually put this on for an ornament? So I'm just going to glue this down. A lot of times I'll put dimensionals on that too. What I normally do is I stick it down with a 3D dimensional, but just a little bit. So, and then, you know, in your card, you might want to mention that it's an ornament, right? So, country Christmas wishes. I got to hold that down a little bit. And then, usually these things I make them out of felt. So, I do feel kind of a little weird making it with 3D adhesive because it might stick to the paper, right, in the meantime. But, I just take like the smallest piece. And maybe for a project this size, maybe a whole like square like that. And I'll just pop this on here. Just very lightly. And then obviously I think it's obvious that it's an ornament, but you know, there you go. Put it in your envelope, it's not going to go anywhere. And then just maybe in there make a little note, like I said, that you have a little ornament so that you have something to keep forever and ever, which is really sweet. Again, I love making them out of felt, and I feel like that really brings home the keepsake part of it, right? Alright guys, well thanks for watching. I will follow up with a tutorial on the rocking chair. Like I said, I know it's going to take a little more time, so we will do that one very shortly. Thanks for watching. I will have images coming up. I'll have the links there in the description box. I will say, if you have a Platinum 6 or Platinum machine, Spellbinders did come out with a new handle that has like so much more torque power as you're using it. It just will do the work easier and better for you guys, and it has kind of like a big foam handle. So if you're interested in that, I'll also link it there. You can check out all about that, because maybe, you know, maybe you have some dexterity issues or things aren't just as easy to crank anymore for you, and stuff like that. There's a new handle that everyone's talking about. So I don't have it here to show you guys, I'm sorry, but I will link it there and you can see more information about that. All right guys, well thanks for watching. I hope you're having a good one, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.